Capricorn Rising, you are the calculated risk taker of the zodiac, and we will talk about why. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Mina. If you don't know me, I'm a professional astrologer who's very passionate about sharing my knowledge of astrology with you guys. So if you're new here, I invite you to stay, smash subscribe, because I do release videos weekly. And I also ask for your input on which videos I do next. So love you guys. Thank you in advance. Also, drop me a like on this video because that really helps me out. It spreads the good work I'm doing throughout the YouTube algorithm and shows the algorithm that you like my content. So it's a win-win situation. Thank you so much. Today we're going to be talking about Capricorn Rising, which is a very misunderstood rising sign. It's also a very strong rising sign. It can really take over a chart. So just as a reminder, this is a pure energy reading. Remember that you have a whole chart. And if something I say doesn't resonate, well, go and discover why it doesn't resonate. Maybe you have a Cancer sun. Maybe you're feeling more pinchy than a normal Capricorn rising. Who knows? That's your homework. Go figure it out. And anyway, I invite you to stay because I really love Capricorn rising people. So let's get into it. We're first going to start by talking about what is the rising sign. The rising sign is how you see the world. It is your basic psychological behaviors that help you make decisions every day with the survival mindset. It really is tied to that amygdala in your brain, the frontal cortex that helps us survive any situation in life. Very survival oriented. And really, yeah, it's just your lens. What makes you feel safe? What makes you feel anchored to this world? It's very automatic. You don't have to learn how to be a Capricorn rising. You simply were born a Capricorn rising. You know that energy. Utilize that energy every day. Just like your moon sign, two very automatic energies that we just know how to embody. So yeah, you're a Capricorn rising. We're going to talk about what is Capricorn rising? How do you see the world? What partnership should you look for? What is an ideal partnership with a Capricorn rising? And if you're interested in a Capricorn rising in a romantic way, how to capture their interest. So if that sounds like something you like, stick around. Capricorn rising people see the world as something to survive and conquer. They see the world through very sober eyes. They don't see daydreams and possibilities. They see realistic possibilities, which is why they are calculated risk takers. A lot of people think, oh, Capricorns, they always play it safe and they don't take risks. Yes, but also no. They do have a very cautious mindset. They're going to make the most cautious and safe decision because retaining material security, money, shelter, food is like of utmost importance to these people, and maintaining their reputation and career, because that it all goes together. But they do take risks. They're cardinal earth, so earth that moves towards a goal. They're very goal oriented. So think of mountain climbing. When you learn how to mountain climb, you learn that there's a pathway. You learn to see the pathway. You're always thinking practical steps ahead, which is why Capricorn rising people, they need to see the practical steps in order to take a risk on something. They need to see that it's doable by their standards, and then they will jump on board and take the risk. And if things don't work out, they'll take the L, dust themselves off, and try again. That's just how they operate. So yeah, they are risk takers to a certain degree, but they are governed by fear because Saturn is what rules them. And this is what gives them like a little bit of RBF and a serious nature, because Saturn is the planet of growing up and maturing. So oftentimes Capricorn rising people can grow up very fast. Even if they have a very good childhood, they just feel compelled to grow up because they feel like they're on the clock from day one. They're always conscious of time, which is why they view time as a very valuable resource. So like, am I making the most of my time? You know, what am I doing? Is it worth it? Saturn is also the planet of insecurity and fear, and Capricorn rising people are governed by insecurity and fear. And I like to say that there's a fork in the road for a lot of Capricorn rising people, because they're born with such a heavy energy, they can get crushed by the depressive nature of Saturn, and that they can justify it through their realistic lens on how they see the world. They can say, well, you know, I won't accomplish that anyway. I'm not good enough because, you know, there's so many insecurities going on with Capricorn rising people. That's how they're governed. And they will say, you know, I'm just not good enough. It's not even worth trying. I'm just going to survive and then die, and then that's it. They can have that type of outlook. But I like to call it the Saturn activation period, which Capricorn rising people come into their own the older they get. They get more confident the older they get. And then it's just like something clicks and they're like, oh, yes, I have insecurities and I'm aware of my insecurities and I'm very fearful. But I'm going to use that insecurity and fear to motivate me, to get me to my goals. Because if I know my insecurities and fears, then I can work with that. That's something I can work with, and I can use that to make myself better. I can make a good resume. You know, that's how they see the world. So once a Capricorn rising conquers the fear and the insecurity in their life, they can really crush every single goal that they have in mind, because they're goal oriented and they're very motivated to accomplish things. And they will use that fear of not utilizing their time to be planners, because they are planners. They, even if they break the plan, okay, they just like to know that there is a plan anyway. That just makes them feel safe. So yeah, I just think that once they get over that insecurity and fear, they can really just take over the world. And like I said, each year they get braver and braver and stronger. But there's some Capricorn risings that never tap into their power. They just feel crushed by the heaviness of Saturn, which is understandable. This is not an easy rising sign. It's almost like a Scorpio rising. It's a very strong rising sign. It can really take over a chart, and it's definitely something that needs to be dealt with and utilized to its highest potential. And there is a lot of potential that Capricorn rising people have, because once they conquer Saturn and the activation period happens, nothing can crush them, because they've already experienced so many crushing things in their life. So they just use that as strength. They just amp themselves up, and they really step into that paternal energy no matter what gender you are. You do have a paternal vibe about you as a Capricorn rising, and you do have like a Benjamin Button effect. You know, you look better and better as you age, because again, you become more confident. And as we know with Leo people who are ruled by the sun and are in general really confident, confidence is beautiful. So that's why you just become more beautiful, more successful, less fearful as you age. Because Capricorn risings are governed by Saturn, they do navigate life through systems and rules. Now, is this because they love rules and they think they're so awesome? No, it's not because of that. It's because they realize it's a harsh truth that systems and rules govern our everyday life, and that it's smarter and more cautious to understand and live by the rules than it is to go against them. And again, calculated risk takers. So they, even if they break rules, they still like to have knowledge of the systems and rules, so they can at least be aware of the consequences, and then they can say, is the outcome worth the sacrifice, the consequence I will have to pay for breaking these rules? That's how they think. They're very strategic in this way. And this goes to my next point. They are business first always. Like, think about the archetype of working hard all week and then having a beer on Friday at your favorite bar. That is Capricorn. So it's not like they're not fun, you guys. They're not all like boring and serious-minded all the time. They just believe in business first, duty first, playing after, enjoyment after, gozar after. That's how they operate. So I think it's really motivating. It's like, yeah, they're like, oh, you don't celebrate until you grind it out all week and then all your work is done. Then we can celebrate. And because they have a very serious outlook on life, because they have a survival mentality, because they have a responsibility first mentality, feelings in Capricorn risings, like, it's not like they don't have feelings, but they are not going to come undone in public or around pretty much anyone. They're kind of uptight and they shield up. They will not let emotions crack that Saturn shell, because they feel that that's not mature, that's not responsible, that is too cancery. They're not cancery. Even if they have a Cancer sun, there's a component to them that is like marble. My Capricorn rising friend Shamara said that I'm marble, and that's how they are. They're unbreakable in this way. So they show us. And how they feel safe is not guiding themselves through life by feelings. No, that is just, Again, they are not stiffs all the time. They just like to know that everything important is taken care of before they step into fun territory. And that even applies to their finances. They will have budgets for different things. So yeah, they might buy something for themselves if they feel they deserved it. If they feel, because that's a big thing with Saturn people, they have to feel they deserve stuff that they indulge in. Then they'll do it. But it's all planned, it's all calculated. This is the key with these people. There is a heavy financial component to Capricorn rising people. They are motivated by money, and I don't feel uncomfortable saying that. And I really do feel like they are more so motivated by money once they step into the more confident versions of themselves, because that's what moves them. They are earth that moves. They move towards goals that will get them that intense, stable material security that they need. And I love how Capricorn rising people, they love things that stand the test of time, and they always look so classic and put together. Although, Capricorn rising people can go through a lot of awkward fashion phases because they can fall into the grandma category, because they want to look mature and serious like when they're young. But as they Benjamin Button their way through life and reverse age, they really step into looking really sexy, like the sexy version of being put together and classic, which I really love, like that model archetype. It's really important to understand, and I will reiterate this, that Capricorn rising, everything to do with these people's lives gets better with age, especially if they are not defeated and crushed by fear and time. Whenever they step into the role where they're saying, hey, I'm going to defeat time. Hey, I'm going to crush my goals. I'm going to use my insecurities and my fears to guide me, to motivate me, to push me forward. That's when they're in their ultimate power. And yes, it will get better each year they are alive. They just age like a fine wine in their mind and their outlook on life and everything. Let's look at the 7th house. 7th house is about partnerships and what is our ideal partner. And it can also extend to platonic friendships, and it also contains like clues on how we can polish up our rising sign. So your 7th house and descendant is in Cancer, which is so interesting because if there's ever an opposition that is so different from one another, it is the Capricorn Cancer axis. Capricorn is so different than Cancer because Cancer is all about feelings. Cancer is feelings first. They're cardinal water. They're rushing towards feelings. There's goal-oriented too, I'm sure, but more so in the emotional realm. And they really want to become one with a lover. They really want a very dedicated, intimate bond with a significant other. So what does this mean for you, Capricorn rising? Who is your ideal partner with the 7th house in Cancer, descendant in Cancer? It means that you need at least one intimate bond with someone, preferably one, where you can just unravel like a baby that's being held by its mom, and you can collapse emotionally. You can feel safe, and someone who embodies Cancer energy, you can feel safe in their arms when you're just showing your emotions, everything that you hide as a Capricorn rising, and you just allow yourself to collapse and to be a little bit quote unquote immature and in your emotional space. And being able to trust that person who embodies this Cancer energy with your emotions. You really are seeking that. Someone you can trust in that way. And someone that will not take from you. Because Cancer energy in its best form is very giving and nurturing. So you don't want a partner that takes from you. That is not a good calculated risk. That is not safe. You want a partner that gives to you. And I think that Cancer partners are super giving, if not the most giving in the whole zodiac. So I do think it embodies that. You need someone who is willing to nurture you, make you feel safe, and not judge you when you are in your moments of feeling. Someone who will protect you in those moments and not judge you, not see you as less, which Cancer people and people who embody that moon energy are perfect for that. Another thing I see with a Cancer 7th house and descendant is that you like your relationships to have clear roles. If you think about the role of a mother, that is a very clear role, clear job title, and you like that in your intimate bonds with people, whether it's a significant other or friendships. You like to know that people have specific roles in your life and that they provide something to you. A Capricorn rising person is not going to get with someone who cannot provide something for them, whether that's in the realm of taking care of the home, emotions, nurturing, commitment, something. They're going to be expecting something. And I think those are the main points to take away from the 7th house. So how can you polish yourself, Capricorn rising, with this 7th house in Cancer, descendant in Cancer? Well, because you're very uptight and business first and emotions get away from me and very, set on your goals and working hard towards those goals, that takes most of your time, and you're very protective of your time. So this is saying, hey, don't sacrifice all of the opportunities you have to have emotional bonds with other people. That's important too. That is very psychologically healthy. There's so many studies on it that says, hey, we're social creatures. We need emotional bonds as well. So I think it's saying don't sacrifice all those bonds. Don't throw those away in order to get success. Or if you do that, which, hey, I'm not judging, just realize what you're losing. Again, I know you're a calculated risk taker, so if you're willing to lose that part of your life, then you'll just have to accept that. Let's go to the end of the video. So you're interested in a Capricorn rising. How can you catch their attention? We need to know that there's a lot of things that are out of your hands when you're trying to get a Capricorn rising's attention romantically, when you're trying to get with them, because they need to see that you fit their vision of their future, their timeline, because they do map out their life. They live on the clock, you guys. They really do expect a lot out of themselves by certain ages. And if you are not going to fit into that timeline that they see for themselves, then automatically they're not going to want you. They need to see that you're not going to take away from their ambition, that you're not going to take away from their material security. They need to see that you will add. They don't like subtraction. They like addition here. They want to see that you're a good investment for their life, for their future. And even if you're not a career person themselves, they want to know that they can trust you with their goals, with their ambitions, and that you won't take advantage of them. They are so not down for that. Now, of course, they understand that life has highs and lows, and that they might have to be sacrificial for you at some point. But they just want to know you're worth it. They want to know that you're a good investment. So put your most serious foot forward. It doesn't mean that you can't be jokey. They like to laugh. Capricorn risings, once they do their business and they're hanging out with you and on the date, know that they already scheduled that time. They want to relax and feel you out. So they're not above laughing, but they want to know that through the laughter, through the enjoyment, that you're someone who takes care of their business and that you're not irresponsible. They don't like irresponsible people, and even if they get with someone irresponsible, they're not going to respect you. That's just how they work. So if you want a healthy relationship with a Capricorn rising, show them that you're responsible, show them that you have a good work-life balance, that you can enjoy life but also take care of your business. And yeah, just be patient. It's not going to happen overnight. And you'll know a lot of this is out of your hands, like I said. But, even though they're yin and more receptive, they, again, are goal-getters or go-getters. And they will go after you if they've deemed in their mind that you're a good investment. So be in it for the long haul, because they only take people seriously who are in it for the long haul, because they want someone to brave life's harshness with them. Before we leave, I do want to bring up the Ariana Grande issue with Capricorn rising. A lot of people will say, well, she's a Capricorn rising, but she rushes into relationships, she dumps these dudes, and she has tattoos all over her body. That's not very Capricorn rising, right? That's not very serious. Guys, let's look deeper into this issue, because remember, astrology is a complicated art. So yes, she does rush into relationships because she's a Cancer sun and she's a Libra moon. That's a heavy relationship focus. But let's look closer. Does she go with broke dudes? No. Every guy she goes with has money, can take care of themselves, will not subtract from her material gains. And she knows if she breaks up with them, it's just going to get her more attention, more press, which is good for her career. This is how they think, you guys. She has tattoos all over her body. That's not very traditional. That's not very Saturn. That's not very Capricorn rising. Well, again, let's look deeper. She has a career as an artist, so she knows that having tattoos on her body is not going to subtract from her career. In fact, it draws her more positive attention than anything. Again, astrology is complicated. So anyway, my lovely Capricorn risings, let me know what you thought of my video. Let me know what resonated, and I love reading the comments you leave, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!